Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Marvel Ghost Rider, the Vengeance Edition, exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. So it is in stock now. Link in the video description below. Big shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store for this Mezco Ghost Rider. So looking at it here, we have the slipcover. As you can see, I just pulled out the slipcover because I didn't want to take up too much space. But some awesome artwork of very classic Ghost Rider here, looking very cool. And then on the side, we also get some artwork there, which is really cool. The other side is the same, but let's go ahead and take a look at the contents inside. I already pulled the figure out, so I have him here. Looking at the tray though, we get the Mezco Toyz stand. As you can see there, we get two flame effects, and then we get two shotguns, which is cool. We get two chains. One has the flame effect to it, and the other is the chain, which has like a bendy wire to the chain link, which is actually really cool that they did something like that. I think that's pretty awesome. And then if we want to take a look at the box itself here, because we get some additional cool looking artwork for Ghost Rider, as you can see there, looking very good. Ghost Rider up at the top, but that is the big old long box, so I just want to get that out of the way so we can move these. And then we have our figure here, which looks awesome. It has a light up feature in the head sculpt. One thing though is Mezco, for whatever reason, shipped these out with the batteries already in the neck. The light is going to be very dim. I went ahead and purchased some new batteries. It's like an 8-pack from Walmart, was like 10 bucks. Or something like that. Hearing aid batteries, so not too bad. We get a couple of flame effects for the motorcycle, which is really cool. And the motorcycle itself lights up and has sound. So the batteries were already installed on this. Flip the on switch and hit the button right up there, and you can hear it makes sounds and it lights up. Now the problem is I have bright lights on, so you're not going to really see the light right now. But this is pretty awesome. Very old school looking on the red color. And at first I was thinking it's just going to be this completely all flat red color. It's not going to look great. But I was wrong. There's a couple of different shades of red in here. And then there's some black panel lining in certain areas, which looks really good. And there's like this copper color in some of the motor parts. Just came out looking really nice. I mean, even like there on the rim, the rotor. Just really nicely done. So the way that these flame effects work, as you can see there, you can get the one on the front and then you can get the one on the back, and it just looks like, you know, he's just peeling out and he's riding on flames there. So that is really cool. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at Ghost Rider. Let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at the motorcycle, and then we'll do all the fun articulation and turn the lights off and check out the motorcycle and everything like that. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you're a fan of my action figure reviews and haven't already, make sure and click that subscribe button. Okay, so real quick, lighting's definitely going to be tricky to kind of get this to work. So you can see like the flicker effect in there. So you get a flicker in the head and a flicker along the bikes and the bike and the flame effects and stuff. So I wanted to get that out of the way here. Video quality might look a little fuzzy though, but we're trying to do the best so you can see it while lit up. So this is the best that I can do with my DSLR and getting the brightness to kind of show. It's probably going to look a little fuzzy, but just wanted to quickly show it. Okay, so I'm using my phone for this, and then I'll just add it in, but I could just get much better video from my phone than through my DSLR camera. But there you can see the light up features of it with the headlight and everything, and then you can see the flicker in the head and everything like that. So it decently lights up, but when it's dark, it is hard to see, and then I just can't get the lighting situation working, you know, with my camera. So here we're going to my phone. So there it looks like decent lighting. It's not super bright. But it is something that you can work with. It is just hard to just really get the lighting right when trying to do certain photography and things like that. So you really have to kind of work with it. But here's another look. Just it's cool. I love the feature. It's just I wish they were a little bit brighter, but still really cool. And it looks brighter when the motor sounds aren't going. Okay, so here is really our total package with the motorcycle setup and Ghost Rider on top of the motorcycle. And again, looks really good. Hopefully you guys can kind of really get a sense of feel with the lighting situation. It's just, you know, got to get under bright lights to really get a good look at the figure. If not, then it's difficult to really get a good look and kind of gauge how bright the lights are. I will say that the lights should be a little bit brighter When the motorcycle sounds are going, the lights aren't as bright. So once the sound stops, the lights stay on for a little bit longer, and you could visibly see that the lights are brighter at that point. But it would be nice if they were just brighter to begin with, so it would be easier to take photos. As it stands, that's going to be kind of the difficult thing. The lights don't stay on a real long time, as it will conserve battery, so that's actually a good thing. I would say, as a good display piece, it just looks beautiful. It really does. So let's go ahead and get Ghost Rider off of it and take a closer look. I will say this is difficult for Ghost Rider to be able to use it with two hands. It's already tough on the one hand. Does that? Oh, that actually cocks back. Look at that. That might help a little bit with the distance, but even still right now, that handle for the shotgun there is very large compared to his hand, so he already has a hard time gripping it, as you can see there, of getting it into his hand and then getting the trigger finger in there. So that's already difficult, so just a heads up on that. But I guess the sliding pump, now see, it's still, look how difficult it is to get it to hold in the hand. And I mean, these other hands aren't really made, like, that's not going to do any good. So that one is tough on that shotgun. This shotgun though might be a little, no, see, this one's going to be difficult too, because look at the size of it and how he's going to have to grip that shotgun. Yeah, that's a tough one there, like, you know. And this is the trigger finger hand. This is the one that he would be using for it. You know, you can kind of work that finger in there a little bit. So it's really tough with these shotguns. You know, just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Ghost Rider head sculpt, and as you can see there, it looks really good. The skull face, nice white paint on there, and it has some cracks in there like a skeleton would, and then the flames just look really nice. Nice translucent orange in there. Little pokey in some areas, so just be a little bit careful of that. But just looks really good. The way the head works, as you can see, there is a light piece in there. The light piece, you twist it to get it off, and then you just open this up and you could put batteries in there. And again, I did purchase new batteries. They're hearing aid batteries, you know, $10 for like an 8-pack or something. Really cheap. So you want to get them on there, and then you want to get the Ghost Rider head sculpt back on there, although I think I put that in backwards. Yeah. So we got our Ghost Rider in there, but as you can see, the way it works, there's no neck articulation whatsoever. So you can, you know, swivel the head around, but that's pretty much it. So you can't really get him to look up. You can't really get him to look down. So just a heads up on that. Let's fix that collar for Johnny Blaze. And then here we have a classic blue jumpsuit version of Ghost Rider, as opposed to like the black leather jacket and leather pants version that was the original wide release Ghost Rider. This one is a much more classic looking Ghost Rider. We get this loose belt there just kind of floating on there, but looks good. Seam wise on the Mezco soft goods, looks good. The boots there, just this dark blue with more royal blue, but some silver buckles and zippers in there, and that looks really good. Texture wise on the gloves, look really good there, but not a whole lot else going on for it. It does, you know, allow for some flexibility in movements, so that is good there. So that's enough of Ghost Rider. Let's take a look. Oh, let's look at the accessories first, actually. So we get a couple of shotguns. This one, we get some additional shotgun shells on the side there. This looks really good. Very, very light, which I'm kind of surprised, but looks really good. There, nice silver and black. Here, I would say be a little bit more of a traditional shotgun. Silver and black again here, and that looks good. The flame effect pieces, I'll have to take a look. This one is going to go, looks like certain hands. Let me see, which hands would it be? So it's this one. So you can actually port this flame effect onto the hand, so it extends to the fingers there. So let's say we swap out that hand for Ghost Rider, and let's pop this one on. So you have this flame effect piece, or if, you know, he's like, you know, doing that sort of thing, it comes off of his fingers. So that is a nice little touch there. This one's more going to be like he can hold it in his hand type of deal. So we get a couple of hands that are kind of open, like, so, you know, you can just kind of rest this in his hand, and it's like he's holding on to that flame, like so there, which is pretty cool. So in terms of hands, while we're at it, let's go pack. Out of the package, he actually has fists on, but then I swapped them out for the grip hands so he can grip onto the motorcycle. So we got those grip hands there. As you can see, we get the fists Whoops. We get the fists there. Focus. So we have the fists. We get a trigger finger hand and kind of that open holding hand there. So trigger finger for the right, open hand for the left, and then a right and left, just kind of these open hands here. And then we have the two chain of pieces here. So this one is just this plastic piece. As you can see there, it's kind of wound up. You just kind of have to hold it out or warm it up to kind of loosen it up. But this one's awesome because this one has the flame at the end, and the flame is very nicely detailed in there. Good paintwork on the chain still. Just looks really, really nice. Nice wash over the whole thing to bring out the details of the chain. Looks very good. This one's awesome because we have a metal chain in there, and then a bendy wire, so you can form this chain, you know, however you need to do it, and it just works out really good because of the bendy wire. So that is really freaking awesome. I love the idea of this. Just so good. And, you know, moving it around how you need. Just really, really cool. So I like that. And those are the accessories for Ghost Rider. But the biggest one, most important, is that motorcycle. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at that. Before I forget, the jaw does articulate. So you can have closed mouth, you can have open mouth there. So it doesn't move super easily, and it doesn't feel like it's super articulated. It feels like I'm just like stretching it out and it stays. So it's kind of a weird feeling. So you have that there. And then both shotguns have the pump handle. So just a heads up on that. Both of them do. Not just the one, but both. So there we go. Okay, so looking at the motorcycle, I wanted to play, you know, really focus and emphasize on the motor itself, because we get this beautiful, like, copper-ish color with this red tone here and here and here in the piping. Just came out looking so nice. I love it in there. Black panel lining in there. We get some wiring that goes along in there. There's some panel lining, and then we could see where some of the lighting effect actually shows through on some of the body of the motorcycle. We get that, not the rim, but the rotor there. Just that nice copper color. It's very metallic looking. I really like the way it looks. You know, it looks like you got the brake system, the caliper there. Really nice. You get these hard plastic tires. They don't really feel rubbery. They roll, not like super well. And I don't know that it needs to, because, you know, we're going to be rolling it around so much. But the flame effects look really nice, as you can see here. Nice yellowish flame effect piece there. And this one just kind of sits over it, and then you can fit it in there, and then you could see kind of how it fits in there. You got the tire kind of exposed there, and it just rests on there, so the flames, you know, as it's driving, looks really good. This one is a very long flame piece, and as you can see, it accommodates the wider tire in the back, and then just kind of slips over and then kind of snaps into place over here, and that just looks really good there. So we have that. Nice detail on the cushioned seat, which looks good there. A little bit of coppering on the brake handles there. Nice headlight there. Let's see, I'm going to turn it on. You can kind of see it light up, but you get the flicker effect. That is really cool. So I really like that. Looking on the other side with these exhaust pipes, get that same metallic coloring in there. Look at that air filter there. Just all kinds of nice detail in there, as opposed to just like a generic motor, you know, that we would see like in a Hasbro motorcycle, for instance. So it's really cool. You can see the light up there on that exhaust pipe. Let's see if we can... Where's the button? Press the button. You can kind of see it there. So that is just really cool that they get those effects. And that's going to feed into, you know, the flame effect there. So just really nice looking motorcycle there. Really love the way it came out. Okay, so I want to go over articulation again. The head isn't going to have any articulation other than swivel. Unfortunately, the shoulder you can get to go straight on out like so. You cannot do a full rotation, but you can come forward and back enough in that suit. It feels like there is somewhat of an upper bicep swivel in there. Can't do a full rotation, obviously, because of the jacket. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and they hinge. They are on a ball joint, so you can hinge them whichever way you need to. You just got to kind of adjust it around. You can tilt Ghost Rider. And I wonder if how much of that was the hip piece. You could tilt Ghost Rider to his left that much. You could tilt Ghost Rider to his right that much, which is great. He can go back a fair amount, as you can see there. He can come forward, only so much there, and I think that's going to be some of the difficulties when it comes to getting him on the motorcycle, which I'll show shortly. But if you incorporate the hips in total, he can do that much there. But kicking forward, he can kick forward that much there, so that is pretty good. Even with soft goods, the legs don't hinder too much. Doesn't really go back at all. There is a thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there, so nice bend at the knee. Boot swivel in there, which is good. Foot hinges down tiny bit, hinge up tiny bit, ankle pivot tiny bit, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So not a whole lot of movement in those ankles, unfortunately. So there we have Ghost Rider's articulation. Push that neck down a little bit more. So there we go. So now let's go ahead and get him on the motorcycle, and that's where some difficulties are in, like his proper foot placement and then reaching over into the handlebars. Okay, so getting him onto the motorcycle, you know, obviously you got to position his legs outwards. So, you know, getting him on there. See, the difficulty is that's where the footrest is. And as you can see, like the foot's not really going to make it there. And that's kind of the crazy part, because like the foot, it just doesn't make it. Like, it doesn't work. And then that's the kickstand, so that's not, you know, that's not a footrest there. So it's just, it's difficult. So that's kind of one of the challenges. And then the handlebar and the seat being very far apart, you know, getting him to hold it. So let's say we get the hand in there, and we're going to get his other hand. Like I had a couple of times where the hand would just pop off. So then I just put the hand on the handlebar and then popped it back onto the wrist, and that kind of helped. But like, as you could see there, that's kind of it. But notice his foot doesn't quite come to the footrest, and that's, you know, basically extended all the way out on the arms and the legs, and, you know, doesn't quite make it. Like looking straight on, you know, that works, that looks good, but, you know, it's just not quite, you know, what you would really want out of it, you know. I guess that's pretty close there, but, you know, he's kind of coming off the seat now. And depending on the angle, maybe or maybe not, maybe or maybe not, if it's an issue. And then, you know, with no articulation in the neck, there's some difficulties in that. You know, you can't really get him to look straight on out. It kind of looks like he's looking down a little bit there. And that just doesn't, it looks a little unnatural, if I'm being honest, right? But again, it's just kind of depend on the angle. Like if you're looking straight on, I think that works, right? Let's see. Let's get this into position. Yeah, straight on, I think that works out really well. But from the side, I think it looks a little funny. Okay, gripping this chain is going to be tough. I didn't heat it up, so I would recommend heating it up to kind of loosen that up so it doesn't get all tight and kind of want to wind back in. The grip hands are a little too loose for him to actually grip this in this hand. As you can see, he just does not get a nice firm grip on that, unfortunately. Now, the chain one, this one seems to be a little bit thicker, but it's still a little loose in there, so just a heads up on that. But this chain obviously is going to be very heavy because it is actual metal, and you got the bendy wire in there, so just a heads up on that. But as you can see, I mean, it can hold somewhat, which is good, but not a crazy amount. Okay, so a couple of different Ghost Riders here. So here we have the Mezco versus the Marvel Legends. This was that early Ultimate Riders, you know, Ghost Rider. This is our blue Johnny Blaze. As you can see, very different blues. This isn't necessarily a classic blue Johnny Blaze. Motorcycles are obviously different. I think the regular first release by Mezco kind of had a more similar motorcycle style. I believe this is the exact same. It's just the other one had a cover. I don't know if necessarily the headlight was different on that one, since I don't have that. But that is that one. And then we take a look at the 85th anniversary that just recently came out. And my flame effects just completely fell. So we have that. Two very different styles, because we have a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider compared to the Johnny Blaze. So that is the difference there. Okay, and so you can see height-wise between the two Ghost Riders. This one, the head looks really small. Now that I'm looking at it, it's like really small, whereas this one actually does look a little bit more proportionate. Mezco heads tend to run a little bit big, so if anything, yes, it may seem a little bit large for the body, but I don't think it's too far off proportionately. I think it looks a lot better than this one. and then historically with this body, it just made the body was just too tall. The legs were just a little too long. That's why Danny Ketch looks so much shorter compared to this Ghost Rider's, because the other one is kind of more normal size, where again, legs just too long on that body. But these two, this one definitely looks better. You just don't get the bonus articulation to where you could freely move like the legs and the arms and stuff like that. The soft goods are hindering that some, but I think in this case, Mezco typically does a great job when it comes to soft goods, and I don't think they're too far off here. It may seem loose in some areas, but I think for a bodysuit similar to this, it should be, especially in terms of functionality. It's got to be able to move somewhat, and so the bagginess allows for it, but it's not too baggy that I think it's a problem. Okay, and that is my review of the Mezco Toyz Ghost Rider, the Vengeance Edition that is exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the video description below if you're looking to pick this one up. If you're in the need for a classic Ghost Rider, this is definitely one to pick up. It is awesome. The motorcycle is absolutely stunning and beautiful. It's not just a flat reddish orange like it may look in some images. There's some awesome detail in there and just stands out looking really good. So if you really need the classic Ghost Rider, this is definitely the one to pick up, where we never really truly got one like this from like Marvel Legends. And I don't know how many motorcycles we'll get. We've gotten 2, 3 if you count Cosmic Ghost Rider motorcycles by Hasbro. I don't know that we see them doing that again. They don't do vehicles very often. So we shall see. But you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you picked up this one. Do you have the first one, the regular wide release in the black leather? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.